would be selling units with two different overhead rates, and then it gets kind of complicated. Okay? And there actually is right at the end, the last problem or two in the handy handbook are that complex, although I don't think there's anything that complex on the exam. But they can get complex, and you kind of have to assume FIFO, and you actually have two overhead numbers, one for the ones produced last year and then one for the produced this year, and it gets kind of complicated and messy. Erica, I'm looking at you because your card's next. And so are you comfortable with that 15,000 in year 3? Okay. So would you like to give me a number so we can kind of show how we get there from here? There's some easy ones though. And since you're first, you get to choose. That's exactly what I was kind of hoping, hoping you would choose. Or at least thinking you could choose if you wanted an easy one. Okay? To speed things along, I could put all the revenues up there. Okay, and now we're going to put on a number that's this one. Okay? Shar, year 1, direct materials, direct labor, variable overhead, all together. How much? $25,000. Exactly right. Exactly right. $25,000. See how easy that was? Tony, you're on. Okay. Josh.
Yes.
You're on.
Awesome. I have $35,000 as your gross margin.
Okay. $35,000 is gross margin. Alex. 5,000 for variable selling and administrative. Christy.
Yes. Your fixed selling and administrative stay 21,000.
Okay. 21,000, and I'm writing big here. I've got to carve out a little bit of room for the next series of numbers. Samantha, is that right? Does it, if you go through all this math, do we wind up at $9,000? Awesome. That's a warm fuzzy feeling time right there, right? Because we calculated the same number 2 different ways. If that doesn't give you a warm fuzzy feeling, nothing in accounting will. Just saying. Right, Laura? It was kind of you to agree with me. Year 2. What piece of information would you like to give me? Because I put in revenue just to make it easier or harder.
20,000 for the product cost.
Okay. 20,000 for the variable product costs. Stephanie Harris, this is quite appropriate that you are now about to give me fixed overhead. Because this is the answer to your question. That is exactly correct. It is not $15,000. This is the one number that's different. So I can go here and fill in. This is going to be the same. Variable selling and administrative is going to be the same. It's going to be $4,000. This one's going to be $21,000, but this number will be different. And it is the reason why there's a difference between the two income. What's fixed overhead per unit, Stephanie? $3. How many, and how'd you calculate that?
By doing fixed overhead divided by units produced.
Precisely correct. Fixed overhead divided by units produced gives us fixed overhead per unit. Now, we're calculating cost of goods sold. So how much overhead was incurred by the actual units sold? No, don't do the division again. Do $3 multiplication times how many units were sold. Yes, $12,000. And that's the difference. Okay? So we calculate cost based on the units produced. But we recognize that cost on the income statement only when they are sold. Okay? Okay? So then we've got how much in fixed overhead that's now in inventory? Anybody? Victoria? How much is in inventory? With regard to fixed overhead, how much fixed overhead cost is there in inventory? $3,000. Exactly right. How much total cost is in inventory? It's not on the problem, but I just want to make sure we get this. How much total cost is in inventory, Stephanie or Victoria? How many units are in inventory? 1,000. And what's the variable product cost plus fixed product cost? Is 5 plus 3 is 8. $8,000. So there's $8,000 of total cost. The value of our products in inventory and finished goods inventory is $8,000. Not a question on the test or on this particular problem, but easily calculatable using the information from the problem. Okay? So far, so good? Michael, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Do you have gross margin for me?
Yes, it's $28,000.
$28,000.
So just the 8,000 was the 20 minus the 12, right? That's what you got the over, the 8,000 worth in inventory.
I actually got it as $5, which is the cost per unit of direct materials, direct labor, variable overhead, plus the $3, which is the fixed overhead per unit. So 5 plus 3, 8 times 1,000 units change in inventory.
Isn't that,
Is the 20 minus 12, is that one too, or is that just a coincidence?
20 minus 12. That just coincidence.
you could do 25 minus 20.
Yeah, that is just because you're calculating total variable production costs. Yeah, that's just a coincidence. I'm sorry? Better? You like this better? Seeing this? So that is why. That is why we're recognizing that's invariably the number that people miss is that fixed overhead in total. So Michael gave me a number. Is this right? Matthew? Does the math work out right? Do we get down to $3,000 of operating income? Have you double checked it? Okay. 28 minus 5, yep. It's going to work. Another warm, fuzzy feeling time. It's kind of like, we did it. I mean, and some of you, Mr. King is better dressed for a warm, fuzzy feeling than Mr. Newland because he's got a sweatshirt on. You know, how cold is it outside today? Warm, cold? 50s? You know, I saw somebody, I went to go get orange juice and a bagel this morning, and somebody's in shorts and a t-shirt, shivering. But I guess, you know, showing they're a man, shivering, going to class in shorts and a t-shirt. Is that you, Mr. Waller? Shorts and t-shirt? But he